Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, going to the ECM 30-day forecast for today's second video for the UK and for Europe as well. So it's like a 4-week 30-day forecast, but we'll look at weeks 5 and 6 data as well, because why not? But traditionally it was like a 30-day forecast for UK and also for the rest of Europe too. So I should get on it for you in a second. Just say that the first video released today was our 7 AM forecast, and we've also got a 10 to 14 day coming up for you later on that will include all of great features. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, let's have a look then, shall we, at the ECM extended model today. So we'll start with week 1 mean sea level pressure anomalies, which will take us from the 28th of June to the 5th of July, the coming week. Or this week, I suppose, the current week, we'll have high pressure around northern parts of UK and extending up to Scandinavia. Also a ridge from the Azores towards Spain and Portugal, but otherwise quite weak pressure, actually, from the Atlantic into many parts of Europe. Quite a bit of low pressure around there, and you see that it looks like it's sort of coming in from the Atlantic in that direction. So a fair amount of low pressure ahead. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like this for week 1, with above average heights to the north and northeast of the UK, below average heights in from the Atlantic into West Europe, and then some higher pressure down towards the Mediterranean and southern parts of Europe as well. So it looks like most of northern Europe is pretty dry and warm, but lower pressure underneath that ridge, like from the Atlantic into western and some central parts of Europe. The temperature anomaly for week ahead for the current week from the 28th of June to the 5th of July looks generally quite warm to hot across many northern and eastern parts of Europe. So Scandinavia all the way down towards Italy, Greece and Turkey, coming out warmer than average. Out in the west of Europe, it does look cooler, although either the UK actually generally quite warm, away from the southeast corner of England anyway. But like France, the Low Countries into Germany, it's cooler than average through there. Spain and Portugal looking a little bit on the cool side as well. Bear in mind it's high summer, so it'll still be hot, even if the temperature anomaly is a couple of degrees below average. It'll still be hot in Spain. In the Mediterranean, an east-west split really through the Med, with Italy marking the boundary, I suppose. So hotter than average to the east of Italy, or Italy eastwards, and cooler as we come out into the central bowl of the Med, and that's Spain and Portugal. Precipitation anomalies look like that, so a bit of a freeway split, really, driving average across northern parts of of Europe. So again, much of Ireland, the UK, Scandinavia, driving average. Also driving average through many parts of southern Europe as well. So down through Mediterranean, it's pretty dry through there. And then in between you have that swathe of low pressure and wetter weather extending in from the Atlantic into Biscay, into France, into Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, Germany, and then on to Poland, and even into the far eastern side of Europe. It becomes wetter than average through there. Right, so that's week 1 done. Let's have a look at week 2. This will be the 5th through to the 12th of July. It's going to start looking a little bit more unsettled now with the ECM extended. So some lower pressure over and to the west of Ireland and the UK. The ridge across Scandinavia beginning to weaken a little bit as well, but we are strengthening the heights around France and into southern Germany, and also down towards Spain. We strengthen the heights a little bit there. Lower pressure again through this eastern, southeastern side of Europe. The week 2 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. So again, have the above average heights to our north and also to our east as well. So high pressure, like as a swathe of it, really, from Spain and Portugal all the way up towards Scandinavia. There's probably going to be weaker pressure through here. This could be a little bit of a trough into the eastern part of the Mediterranean. And then, of course, we've got low pressure out to the west of Ireland. That's bringing more unsettled conditions, probably into the far northwest of Europe. The week 2 temperature anomaly looks generally quite warm, really. So most parts of Europe are warmer than average, particularly so again from Scandinavia back to western parts of Russia. It's a little bit cooler still down towards France, but not as cool as it is in week 1, sort of reverting to average type temperatures. And over on this far eastern side of Europe, it is a little bit it's a little bit cooler through there. But overall, it's a warm scene across many parts of Europe in week 2. Mediterranean looks pretty hot as well, and as I say, very hot up here in the north and the northeast of Europe. And the precipitation anomaly looks like that. So it is getting a little bit more unsettled for Ireland, for the UK, for the Low Countries, and also into Germany as well. It does look a little bit more unsettled through these areas, and possibly even into Scandinavia, just begin to go a bit more unsettled with that temperature anomaly. You know, you'll be probably expecting thunderstorms being triggered by those high temperatures. Wetter than average on the far eastern side of Europe as well, from like the Black Sea going down towards parts of Greece. Drier than average in this southern southwestern part of Europe, and then near normal rainfall elsewhere. The drier weather is being forced back into western parts of Russia here. Right, week 3 will be the 12th through to the 19th of July. More changes taking place. So now we have some lower pressure down through the Mediterranean. We have some higher pressure close to the UK and the Low Countries, and also over here across eastern parts of Europe. Otherwise, it's quite a weakish sort of signal in terms of the mean sea level pressure anomaly. The 500 millibar height anomaly for week 3 seems to be suggesting higher pressure sort of developing again across many parts of Europe. Weaker pressure looks like it's down here, but it looks like much of Europe being covered by high pressure there, doesn't it, in week 3. The week 3 temperature anomaly, overall warmer than average again through many parts of Europe, especially these northern, central, southern and eastern areas. A little bit cooler again out to the west, but Ireland and the UK, for example, going a little bit warmer than average, or still a little bit warmer than average. France, struggling a little bit for the temperature there, but I think it's generally quite a warm week really to come that across most parts of Europe, if the model is correct. And the week 3 precipitation anomaly, weakening signals as always further out we go, the signal gets, but it does look generally dry across many parts of Europe, away from the east right to the west, looking pretty dry really. So yeah, high pressure in control, that looks like it could be quite a warm, maybe hot and dry week through much of Europe. Week 4 will be the 19th to 26th of July. More changes. High pressure is building over Scandinavia and pushing northwards as well. So she's starting to hint at a little bit of northern blocking. But will probably be very warm through much of northern and western Europe with winds in from the east. That could be quite a hot week. Again, lower pressure is down here. So southern, southwestern Europe looking rather more unsettled with higher pressure across northern parts of Europe. Rather unusually, rather unusual anomaly for midsummer. The 500 millibar height anomaly, again, dominated by high pressure across northwest Europe. You can see the high pressure is beginning to pull out towards Greenland and in towards the North Atlantic. Still enough here to be bringing lots of hot weather across many parts, or very warm weather, possibly hot weather across many northern, central and western parts of Europe. But if high pressure goes any further north than that, we will probably start to turn things cooler and more unsettled into northern and western Europe. The temperature anomaly still looks pretty warm, really. I mean, bear in mind it's week 4, so it's a long way out. It's quite a strong signal for high temperatures, I think, for week 4. With most parts of Europe looking generally warmer or hotter than average. And the week 4 precipitation anomaly from the 19th to 26th of July suggests a lot of dry weather, I think, really. Obviously, the further out we go, week signal is getting, so there is a lot of white there, but generally it's average or drier than average. There's very little sign of anything particularly wet, except in the extreme ends of the Med, interestingly. So it does look a bit wetter than average through here, down towards the eastern part of Med, and also in towards Portugal as well. But they're the exceptions. Most parts of Europe looking generally quite dry in week 4. Right, so that's the 30-day look ahead done. Let's just run you through weeks 5 and 6. So week 5 26th of July to 2nd of August, mean civil pressure anomaly looks like that. The high pressure begins to retreat a little bit towards northern Scandinavia, lower pressure across southern southwestern Europe. That might be bringing a fundamental breakdown up the western side of Europe, perhaps. The week 500 millibar height anomaly, again, just showing that ridge of high pressure retreating a little bit northwards and northeastwards, somewhat lower pressure in the Atlantic beginning to move in that direction. The week 5 temperature anomaly still looks quite warm, but maybe for Western Europe anyway, a little bit less so. The warmest temperatures look like they're across Northern Europe, Scandinavia, and running down the eastern side. But the West, and particularly the Southwest Europe, might be turning a little bit cooler, perhaps. And the precipitation anomaly does look a little bit more unsettled across western parts of Europe. So a bit of a change there right at the very end of July suggested. Let's see what week 6 is doing. This will be the 2nd to the 9th of July. And now, 2nd to 9th of August, I should say. And now it does look rather more unsettled across Ireland and the UK. I think just generally a little bit more unsettled across many parts of Europe as well. The high pressure looks like it's pulling out into the middle of the Atlantic, so probably the jet stream is coming southwards. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly. And it looks like that. So, again, there is a little bit of high pressure still left across Scandinavia, but it is weakening. And I think we're just beginning to revert into a more unsettled pattern for August, or for early August, as we so often do. Temperature anomaly continues to cool down across western parts of Europe, but still looks quite warm or hot for many northern and eastern parts of Europe. And the precipitation anomaly, again, just looks a little bit more unsettled, doesn't it? Across northern and western parts of Europe in particular. So will this be yet another case where August, turns cooler and more unsettled after a generally dry and warm early part of the summer? It does seem to happen a lot, doesn't it? But works out like that. We'll see. That's weeks 5 and 6. It's a long way out. We'll just see how that plays out. But definitely the rest of July is shaping up to be pretty warm with a lot of dry and fine weather, and looking pretty hot really across most parts of Europe in the next few weeks, and then perhaps change when we get into August. But we shall see, because that's a long way out. Right, so that's it for the EC 30-day forecast for this week. We'll do it all over again in a couple of weeks' time. No video next week, no 30-day forecast, because I'm going to have a few days off next week. So there won't be a 30-day forecast next Tuesday, but it'll be back like the following Tuesday. We're going to be back later on with your 10 to 14-day update that will include all our regular features. So come back for that a little bit later on. For this week's EC 30-day forecast, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.